Okay, I think I dropped the live, but I'm back. Anyways, so Jason and I were attending our very first mother-son dance put on by the Memphis Sigmas, right? And it was supposed to have been last month, the first Saturday of last month, February 7th. And it was postponed because of the weather, due to the weather or whatnot. And so it was, rescheduled for today's date. So here we are. Jason and I done got together. We done came up to this to the place. I'm not gonna name the location. I'll say that. Now it ain't too hard to find out, but I have talked to the principal here, and she was fantabulous. And so I'm not going to speak bad about the location at all. This is all about the Sigmas and how they handle things. All right. So the location was at a school here where we live in Memphis, Tennessee. And mind you, never really come to this school. Never had a reason to. Not growing up, not nowadays. So Jay said he having fun anyway. So I just followed GPS, right? So GPS brought us to the school. But apparently it took us to the back of the school. And I'm still sitting in the parking lot. So I'm looking around to see if it says anything about this being the back of the school. I don't see anything saying this is the back of the school. So I'm not knowing this is the back of the school, right? But I see the parking lot does not have any vehicles. So I just told my son, I said, hey, maybe people didn't come out because, they're not having a good crowd because of the rescheduling and the storms that we had earlier today. I told him, but we're still going to go in and have a good time. We're going to light the dance floor up, right? Right. So I get him out the car, roll him up. He clean too, boy. Look at him. Boy, look at him. Yeah, boy, look at him. He excited. Now, mind you, there are no signs out here either for the event or otherwise. It specified that this is the back. Like I said, I'm still looking around to see, and I don't. So we go up to the door, and there was somebody sitting at the door when we pulled up. That was another reason why I felt we were in the correct location. When I say they were sitting at the door, they were inside the building, but there's like a table and a chair there at the door. So, but by the time I got him out the car and we wheeled up to the ramp to the door, that person was gone. So now midway down the hallway was another person just standing there. And then toward the other end of the hallway, you could see more doors, which, led outside. And I could see some people standing there as well. So I'm banging on the door. I'm knocking on the door first. And, I see the people looking at me, but nobody's coming to open the door. So I'm like, okay, I know they see me. I know they see me, see them, see me, see them. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I started banging because I'm like, okay, come on, like, what's up? And the person that had been sitting at the door when we first pulled up on the lot, I don't know what happened to them. Maybe they went to the bathroom or what, but they never came back out. So we were at this door for about a good 5 minutes before somebody decided to come open the door. So, gentleman, I ain't going to call him a gentleman because a gentleman doesn't act like that. So, a guy comes, open the door, and he tells me, well, I can't let you in. They told me to tell you to go around. And I said, well, I'm here now, and it's a lot to get this wheelchair in and out. Get him in and out of this wheelchair and wherever we need to go. You know what I'm saying? So I said we can walk up to wherever we need to go. And so He said, well, nah, I can't let you in. So he proceeds to stand in front of the door, like in front of my son's wheelchair, right? And I'm just like, well, I'm not finna load him back up just to come to this same point. And we can walk from point A to point B. You know what I'm saying? Okay? And I get, like, if you have, like security points or whatever, you can walk me to point A to point B. But as far as me loading him back up and all that, I'm not about to do all that. Sorry. And so I'll go on in, mind you. Now he tried to block us, but I don't think he wanted to get rid of nobody's wheelchair, so he stepped outside. And so soon as we get in, I hear the music, so I follow the music, and I run into a guy that I went to high school with, and he's part of the Sigmas. I will say that I ain't gonna call his name though. And I just told him, I said, your folks just done pissed me off. He said, what happened? I told him, I said, well, we parked out this way. Now, mind you, there are no signs or anything directing where you should go or should park, or if they want you to be in a specific area. I said, but anyways, I said, so we're parked out here because at this point I'm not knowing. I said, but we were at this door for about 5 minutes knocking, and people are just looking at us and not letting us in. And I said, and then when they did try to let us in, when somebody did come to open the door, they still didn't want to let us in. And I was like, and I just let them know that, hey, it's too much to get him in and out this wheelchair to get to the same point. And so he was like, yeah, I'm sure they didn't know. There was a kid that came and answered the door. So I guess they have, minors helping them out. And I say, okay. So we go on in, and, he tells the people, hey, she cool, she good, or whatever. So we there, we just sit down. We not even there a good 5 minutes. We sit down. They playing the Tamia line dance, and a photographer comes along, say, hey, are you mom? I'm like, yeah. He was like, you want to take a picture? I was like, yeah, we'll take a picture. So me and Jace took a picture. Tamia line dance song still on. And so my friend from high school come back to me. He said, hey, they just want to apologize to you. And I said, okay. I said, so I started to walk out there, but he walks the other way. So I go back to him. I said, hey, do they still want to talk to me? Or, And he was like, yeah. So I just gone out because I'm not knowing who it is that they are that wants to talk to me, but I just figured they would see me. So I go back out into the hallway. And so I start to just walk. And then this one guy starts walking towards me. Now, this is when things pop out. Because first of all, his whole attitude was stank. And he's like, you look upset. I said, well, I was upset. I said, because, now mind you, this was one of the guys I did see in the hallway looking at me, right? He see me, see him, see me, see. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah. I said, because I stood at this door for about 5 minutes and y'all saw me and nobody came to let me in. And he wants to go, first of all, hold up, sir. Hold up. It ain't no first of all. And I told him that it ain't no first of all. That's exactly what I said. Ain't no first of all. And he gonna say, oh, okay. So you want to talk? You want to talk? I said, yeah. I said, well, I've said what I wanted to say. I said, y'all saw me at this door and nobody came. Right? And then he going off again. First of all, again, no first of all. You can't talk to me better than that. Ain't no first of all. Well, so You talk. No, you don't want to hear what I got to say. Not when you coming at me like that. I don't want to hear what you got to say. And then he says, oh, well, this is my event and you can leave. How is that to talk to a patron? First, you know what I'm saying? How is that to talk to a patron? First of all. And then, instead of trying to come to a resolve, and now mind you, I was told I'm coming out here for a whole apology. Instead of getting a resolve, let alone an apology, oh, you can leave my event? Baby, I paid my money to support you. Absolutely. I will leave. I don't have to be here. Oh, well, you got Cash App now. There's some other janky dude walked up, and I call him janky. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But yeah, he janky. He pulls out the little money. The event costs like $40 for a mom and one child. And, you know, from there, the price goes up. So he pulls out $40. Give me $40. And I saw him leaving. And then he, the first of all guy, wants to still talk crazy. Now, at the same point, one of my line sisters pulled up. And I'm very disappointed. She immediately hopped on their side, not knowing what's going on. And I'm knowing she just walked through the door, right? So she don't know what's going on. So he started talking crazy, and he said, oh, and you could tell everybody about it. I said, bet. So he talking crazy. Now, mind you, I done got my money and was walking out the door. He the one started turning around talking crazy about, oh, and you could tell everybody about it. I said, bet. So I pull out my phone, and I'm going to upload the video later. I said, so now what you got to say? So this is why I learned his name is Fred. Don't know who Fred is. I don't care. I don't care if he's some big wig. I don't give a damn. Fred. You was wrong coming at me with this first of all. And then not even trying to come to some resolute. But just immediately say, oh, I'm putting on this event. I don't give a darn. And you can have your money back. I don't give a darn about that either. Please note that. I don't give a darn. I ain't scared of nobody. No man. Okay? So that's when Fred started talking crazy. So I got that video. So I'm going to upload it here when I get home. And then my line sister started walking him off. That's when I was just like, oh, that's what we doing? I ain't going to tell you who that is either. But they know. And I just told, I said, you know, I'm really disappointed. I said, because you're supposed to be my line sister. And you just came in, don't know what's going on, and immediately decide you want to take their side. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so he talking crazy, and I'm videoing him. And all I'm saying is, go on, say what you got to say, Fred. Go on, say what you got to say. You want to talk all this talk? You say you want me to go on, run and tell that. Now that I got the camera on, go on, say what you got to say. Right? So then, little janky dude come up. And he wants to stand in between me and him. Now, mind you, me and Fred ain't nowhere near each other, right? No ways. So what he come and try to stand in front of us for, because at this point, I'm leaving. And then he wants to put his hands on me, though. He tried to stop me from recording him. That's what it was. He put his hands, he tried to take my phone, and he put his hands on me. This is why he janky. And now this is when stuff pop off. In the video, I already know. I haven't watched it, but I already know. This is when y'all gonna hear me go irate. Because don't no man, and I absolutely mean that, no man put their hands on me for any damn reason. You don't touch my hand. You don't touch my arm. There was no reason for you to put your hands on me. And I absolutely mean that. And I didn't get his name, but he the janky man, and I point him out in this video. When I drop this video. But you don't put your hands on me. Fred want to talk all that noise. He could have talked all the noise he wanted. And if I wanted to talk noise, I could have talked all the noise I wanted to. Because at that point, I was leaving. But at no point should you have ever put your hands on me. And I absolutely mean that. None. So you better be glad I ain't decided to call the police. Because it is on camera. So anyway, so at this point, like I said, leaving. Me and my son leaving. And then I hear a woman approach me. And she's asking me, you know, what's wrong? What's happening? What's going on? And she asked me to stop recording. And I told her, I said, now I'm not going to stop recording. I said, but I will talk to you because you were coming to me correctly. So we were able to have a conversation. Now, y'all not going to hear that because even though I didn't start recording, I put the camera down. And I was just like, out of respect for you, I'm not going to record you. We can sit here and we can talk. And we did. And she just told me this was the back of the school. She's the principal here. This is the back of the school. And that she thanks me for the feedback. Because I was just like, this is my first time here. There's no signs, no signage. GPS took me to this particular parking lot. You know, parking area. And so she just thanked me for that feedback. I did tell her how things went from my standpoint and how things got heated. I said, now, first of all, him saying, first of all, and then all that, well, you can have your money back. Like, no resolution, no nothing. Because I said, I don't want to hear what you got to say. And you talking to me like that? I said, like I told her, I said, I paid to come support you. And so she's like, I get it, you know, and I said, but no, I said, what really set me off though was when that guy put his hands on me. And she was very super nice. We had just a nice little conversation, woman to woman, and I'm glad I met her. And I wish her nothing but the best in her endeavors. But this has been a traumatic experience, y'all. As y'all can see, I was crying because y'all know when I get upset, tears gonna roll, whether I'm like a boohoo cry or just upset. But really disappointed. Like I said, me and my baby, we got dressed up to come have us a nice little day out. But to be treated like that and by men, that was unacceptable. That was totally unacceptable. And I hope this goes the distance, because they need to be held accountable, both of them. And like I told the lady, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But there was no signage out here, so it was not a intentional wrong if I was not supposed to park here. And you know, she told me, she's like, Miss Chiquita, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's feedback that I can take for the next time. So anyways, I want y'all to know what happened. I want the world to know. I'm going to use my voice to advocate for me, first of all, and my son. And for us to be treated fairly. And not that we asking for any kind of special treatment. But at the same time, wrong is wrong. You're right is right. And there was a better way to handle that situation than first of all, coming to be crazy. First of all, and then immediately, well, this my den. You can have your money back. Mine. You can have your little funky event. I don't care. I'll be cool if I attend this event or not. There are other mother-son dances. Matter of fact, somebody just posted about one last weekend. Let me get with you and figure out where that one is so me and Jace can be up in that next one. Anyways, we're going to head home. I'm going to upload that video when I get there. And I will still upload pictures of us because, baby, we cute. Baby, I'm cute. Jay's fly. Ain't that right, mine? And we're going to have our own party at home. But anyways, I just wanted y'all to know about our experience with the Memphis Sigmas and what happened. So, yeah. Bye.